This is TCT's Daily Major. I am Brian Dabreo, and these are your headlines. Congratulations are in order for Tennyson John. Coconuts discovered with cocaine at the Huronora International Airport. The Prime Minister denounces the spate of burglaries at schools, and over 100 dead in Haiti from Hurricane Matthew, and the number is expected to rise. TCT's Daily Major is brought to you by Dubél's Bottling Company, Farron's Food Products, Ramco Chowming, and One Caribbean Newspaper.
So nothing will keep us together. Oh, we can be heroes just for one day.
More than a third of our children are now overweight or obese, and some reports indicate this will be the first generation where the children might not outlive their parents. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in the United States, and the leading cause of death for African Americans, Hispanics, and whites. 25 million North Americans are diabetic, and roughly 2 million people are diagnosed with diabetes every year. Bio's Life, the clinically proven natural fat loss.
For more information or to purchase this product, contact Ramjay at telephone 716-1400 or 450-0495 or email ramjay35@hotmail.com.
One Caribbean newspaper is dedicated to the unity of our people in one Caribbean nation. We invite you to write us and tell us what's bothering you. No matter what it is, as long as it's within the law and it doesn't offend the public conscience, we will publish it. Send us your pictures. Tell us of your weddings. Tell us when, unfortunately, you have deaths, and we will publish the death announcements. One Caribbean is a newspaper dedicated to the unity of the Caribbean. Write to us at onecaribbeanltd@gmail.com or dennisdabero@gmail.com, and we will publish what you write, as long as it is within the law and it doesn't offend public decency.
Welcome. Tennyson John, affectionately known as TJ to his St. Lucia family and international fan base, is the proud recipient of the International World and Reggae Music Awards Best Soca/Calypso Artist 2016. Earlier this year, the entire island threw its support behind the prolific singer when he vied for the coveted title of Carib Breakout Artist of the Year for the International Soca Monarch 2016 in Trinidad and Tobago. He performed admirably as usual and gained lots of support and respect as a St. Lucian cultural ambassador. Tennyson, known for his amazing vocal ability, is also an accomplished keyboardist and percussionist. According to Creative Industries Officer Imran Emmanuel, Tennyson has been one of our most consistent and dedicated artists, and we are beyond proud of the latest in his strings of achievements. We extend our congratulations to him and his team and wish him continued success as one of our prominent cultural ambassadors. The Department of Creative Industries has been supportive of the musician's promotional tours and also with the production of his annual carnival event, Euphoria. Congratulations are in order for this accomplishment, said Minister for Local Government, Culture and Creative Industries, Senator the Honorable Fortuna Belrose. This is the first time a St. Lucian has been nominated for the International World and Reggae Music Awards and is a commendable step in the right direction for St. Lucian musicians. The Alice singer was quoted as saying, "Words can't describe how I feel right now. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone for their continued love and support."
Leaving all your problems behind it. We're pressing on to our victory. Oh, yeah. There we go. I step forward. I move forward. I step forward. I move forward. I step forward. I move forward. I step forward.
On Sunday, October 2nd, 2016, at the Huronora International Airport, law enforcement officials intercepted a consignment of cargo destined for London, England. A search of the intercepted cargo revealed several boxes/crates containing dried coconuts. 3 coconuts were identified as having concealed therein a white powdery substance suspected to be a controlled drug, to wit, cocaine. An investigation ensued which resulted in an individual being taken into police custody on Monday, October 3rd, 2016. Approximately 59 educators and Ministry of Education officers will receive training in restorative practices in 2 workshops being sponsored by the Canadian government-funded Improve Access to Justice Impact Justice Project. The workshops are being held in the conference room of the Bay Gardens Inn from October 4th to the 7th, 2016. Mr. Kevin Codler is one of the facilitators.
Impact Justice has brought us from Canada. We're an international organization, and we're working with school administrators, principals from St. Lucia, from all of our schools, public schools, and what we're talking about is restorative practice, which is a way of developing positive relationships between staff, between students and staff, everyone in the school community, and it is a way of building community and effectively dealing with harm when it occurs.
So why does it need fixing? Why do we need to strengthen those ties?
Yeah, and that's a great question to ask, and the answer is something everybody needs to hear, is that our traditional adversarial punitive-based way of dealing with harm does not work. It creates high levels of shame that a lot of children never get over, and causes them to be excluded, and feel hopeless about how their life is. And we have a saying in restorative practice called the school to prison pipeline, meaning that students who traditionally are dealt with punitively in school because of things that they did wrong, and they get excluded from school, are people that are incarcerated for us right now.
Preparations are well underway for the hosting of this year's La Marguerite Festival. TCT spoke to Ms. Drina Frederick, the Director of Events and Production at the CDF.
This year we're celebrating the La Marguerite Festival, and it will be done in sort of 3 parts. On the 14th of October, we have what is called the La Marguerite Grand Séance in Dennery. It starts at 8 p.m. at the Dennery beachfront, and it's a combination of all the La Marguerite groups doing one séance. Again, we're following up on the Laos Grand Séance that we usually do at Rodney Bay, where it is a sort of thing to sort of educate the public and to get people involved in other aspects of the rituals in the flower festivals. And on the 14th of October, the schools around the island will be celebrating the La Marguerite Festival in the various districts. And from districts 1 to 3, there will be a church service at the cathedral, followed by a parade through the city of Castries, down to Bridge Street, through the Boulevard, and onto Constitution Park. We're hoping that everyone comes out to see it and celebrates the festival. And on Monday, the 17th of October, the festival will be celebrated in the village of Dennery. The church service is at 10 a.m. at St. Peter's Church Cathedral, and the procession will be from the church to the Dennery multipurpose grounds, where presentations will start at 1 p.m.
A 6-week workshop on self-management of chronic illnesses for members of the Courtesy Taxi Association was recently completed here. The family nurse practitioner for Region 8B tells us more.
The workshop is with the St. Lucia Arthritis and Lupus Association in collaboration with community nursing. They have put that workshop together, and it's all about in the community, in the different communities. And they are inviting persons that they could come on board and to participate in that workshop. And I was happy to have the men from the Courtesy Taxi participated, although I would have loved much more. I recruited about 17 of them, but only 7 participated. And they did the workshop to the end, and I'm very proud of that. And today they are graduating, getting their certificate, and they are proud. It has been a 6-week workshop for the men of the Courtesy Taxi. They have done this workshop from July until today. It might sound grand like it's 6 weeks, but it is 6 weeks, 2 hours every week for the 6 weeks. And the workshop is about self-management of chronic illnesses.
Prime Minister the Honorable Alan Shasney has strongly denounced the spate of robberies and burglaries which have occurred recently, particularly in schools across the island. On Saturday, October 1st, the Prime Minister paid a visit to the Castries Comprehensive Secondary School earlier that morning upon receiving news of a break-in which had occurred. The burglary at the school resulted in damages and loss of valuables. The Prime Minister said this disturbing trend will not be taken lightly by government and, by extension, the law enforcement of this country. This is not a positive activity for anyone to engage in. It cannot be tolerated that people do not feel safe at the very institutions that are tasked to educate, mold and shape young minds in an atmosphere which is conducive to learning. The Prime Minister called on St. Lucians to assist the police in their investigations and discourage the practice of purchasing stolen goods. The St. Lucia Tourist Board is pleased to announce that Destination St. Lucia has won the runner-up prize for the best overseas destination for families in the Family Traveler Awards for 2016. St. Lucia came second to California and beat out many other established family destinations in votes cast by 18,000 people. The St. Lucia Tourist Board is proud of this achievement and will continue our marketing activities to increase awareness of the many fun and educational activities available to families in St. Lucia. You are watching TCT's Daily Major. Still to come, the OECS stands in solidarity with affected nations.
Crystal clear, yeah. That's what we drink. When I want to quench my thirst, bring a bottle of crystal clear, yeah. It's so refreshing. I don't want no other water. The choice is crystal clear. Cool the temperature, revitalize me with. Give me a bottle of water. All on the road is inside the bottle. Everybody's drinking water. Crystal clear, yeah. It's so refreshing. When I want to quench my thirst, bring a bottle of crystal clear.
The choice is clear. Crystal Clear. Premium, purified drinking water from Duboulet's Bottling Company Limited.
The way you smile at me is everything I dream.
How is that boy running up?
Your Lucelec bill has been redesigned to give you more information. The top portion of your bill contains an invoice number, Lucelec's VAT identification number, and customer address. A past due stamp is displayed if your payment is overdue at the time of billing. Ignore it if you've already made your payment. To the right is a barcode for easy processing of your payments at Lucelec's customer service offices only. The billing summary highlights any amounts due from the prior billing, total of all payments made between your last bill and your last payment date, any other charges or credits to your account, any fees for returned checks or reconnection, VAT charges on these fees, the balance brought forward, your current charges for the billing period, the total amount outstanding on your account, and the date by which it should be paid.
Experience the flavor of icy. Icy, yeah. Icy, icy. Pop it up. Let's start the party. Ooh, yeah. I like the flavor. Ooh, yeah. I love the taste.
The orange and the pear, the cherry and banana, the apple, ginger beer, or strawberry for your mama. Grapefruit, cola, champagne, sorrel if you wanna. Quench your thirst first, have an icy soda water.
Icy, yeah. Icy, icy. Pop it up. Let's start the party. Ooh, yeah. I like the flavor. Ooh, yeah. I love the taste. Icy, icy, icy.
Experience the flavor of icy. Bottled by Dublay's Bottling Company Limited.
Ramco pasta is a master. Your staple of choice because the quality is superior. No gluten, no white flour, 100% semolina. Ramco pasta tastes better, I swear. Ramco pasta forever. When I using mac and cheese, bon. Give me some more, please. Ramco have variety, go Betty to Betty and Fusilini. Ramco, the taste we know, met you.
Now available at all leading outlets. Distributed by Ramco. For more information, call 450-0495.
Thanks for staying with us. The OECS Commission has expressed its solidarity with nations affected by Hurricane Matthew, the strongest storm to impact the Caribbean in almost a decade. The Director General of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, Dr. Dedicus Jules, expressed his profound sorrow for nations affected by the hurricane, including Haiti, Jamaica, Cuba, and the Dominican Republic. We are deeply saddened by the loss of life and displacement of thousands, especially in Haiti, a nation which can least afford an effective and independent response to the disaster without international assistance. The Commission applauds the U.S. Agency for International Development, which has deployed a disaster assistance response team to the Central Caribbean. We understand U.S. aid will work closely with authorities of the affected countries and humanitarian organizations to bring vital assistance and logistical support to those in need in the storm's aftermath. On behalf of the OECS, we call upon the international aid community to bolster efforts by rendering all technical, financial, and human resources as may be required to alleviate the plight of our Northern Caribbean family as we keep them in our thoughts and prayers. Over 1,000 young men and women from St. Lucia have now graduated from the Sandals Hospitality Training Program, widening the enormous pool of human resources available to the island's evolving hospitality industry. The milestone achievement was achieved recently with the graduation of 80 young people from the 10-week program, which provides practical and theoretical exposure to all areas of hospitality, surpassing the basic standards required by the global industry. Some individuals are offered immediate full-time employment with Sandals Resorts, having excelled at all levels of training. While they may have been trained by the luxury-included resort, the graduates are all available to hospitality organizations across St. Lucia, having now been certified and armed with letters of recommendation from Sandals general managers. In fact, the program is so open, Sandals Resort has even extended an invitation to other hotels and organizations to tap into this pool of graduates directly by contacting any resort human resource team for a list of outstanding graduates. Michelle Noel, who graduated from Sandals Halcyon in October, described the experience as one of personal commitment and pride, where all program participants worked hard and whose dedication would not go unrewarded. The Sandals Hospitality Training Program has been ongoing for more than a decade, and Beyond St. Lucia has graduated thousands of young individuals from across the Caribbean, many of whom have grown into exceptional hospitality professionals. The president of the Vendors Association, Mr. Peter Ross Isaac, is expressing concern about the way some persons are allowed to continue plying business in certain areas.
I am agreeing that they must be very careful in the way that you put people, allow people to continue plying their little business in certain areas. I think the town council, they must have a plan, and that plan must be put into action. And whenever people are about to or intend to settle in a particular area to venture into some small business or something like that, they must be warned that probably this area is earmarked for some kind of development or project or whatever. I don't think it's a good thing to allow people to settle in a particular area for a period of time and afterwards just tell them they have to be moved immediately or something of that sort. Now, what I'm understanding is that someone who's selling around the Big Gardens area exposed their private parts, and some guests in a hotel, I think it was a young child, saw their private parts, and I don't think that was something nice. So again, these persons that don't have proper laboratory facility and so on. And so I think they must have a specially designated area so that these people could ply and to eke out their living in whatever area they wish to, especially those who are doing it in the coconut vending area. What I'm trying to say is, while I know the town council or the authority had nothing to do with what transpired in that place, I am saying that the onus is upon them to do what is right and to make sure they have specially designated area for these sort of activities.
The Executive Director of the St. Lucia Blind Welfare Association, Mr. Anthony Avril, spoke to TCT about what can possibly be done to protect vulnerable persons in times of natural disasters.
Yes, it's a very good question to ask at this point, because we seem to be having visitors from the Atlantic, and they seem to be coming fast and furious. We just had Matthew that went by, and we understand that some other system is heading in our direction. And the question as to what can be done when it comes to protecting vulnerable people is a timely question. Of course, one can't wait when the storms are on us to deal with these matters. It has to be, arrangement has to be made in advance of these systems. But what I do know is that the National Disaster Authority here in St. Lucia, they have, through their various disaster committees from around the island, try to ensure that they can stay in contact with the people who are most vulnerable in the various communities. Now, of course, disabled people are among the most vulnerable, and particularly those with severely physically challenged, with limited mobility, like those with blindness and very, very low vision. So that every effort is made to be in contact with our clients around the island. It was not too long ago, actually, this July, August, we had a visit from NEMO. They're having a second round to see how best they can strengthen the capacity and the ability of the various committees to provide effective help when and if and when we are affected by a disaster. And there was a plan for us to have had some serious meeting with them to revisit what obtains and to see what can be done to strengthen the arrangements that we have currently on the ground. We will be ensuring that this meeting will take place between the authorities and the St. Lucia Blind Welfare Association. What we can say at this point is for our clients, people who are affected by blindness and vision impairment, to ensure that they, and their families of course, to ensure that they stay in contact with the people responsible for disasters in their communities. And those who are living in very vulnerable places like close to rivers and so on, the appeal to their families to ensure that adequate precaution is taken when we know and when they know the system is approaching.
On the regional front, it has been reported that Hurricane Matthew left Haiti with at least 108 people dead and catastrophic damage. Haitian officials said Thursday the situation is catastrophic, President Prevet said. At a press conference this Thursday, Haitian officials said more than 28,000 houses have been damaged thus far, but evaluation is only in the initial stages. All international assistance will be coordinated through the Haitian government, they said, as the nation began the painful assessment of the damage. Government ministers deployed across the country on Thursday in helicopters and SUVs to assess the damage. More than 21,000 people remained in shelters, according to Edgar Celestine, spokesman for the Office of Civil Protection. He said the number of deaths and the amount of damage are both expected to rise, especially in hard-hit areas like Grand Anse. Now for the weather report. Present weather at Huronora, cloudy. At George Charles, cloudy with showers. Total rainfall for the month thus far at Huronora, 21.3 millimeters. At George Charles, 8.0 millimeters. Sunrise tomorrow, 5:57 a.m. Forecast for St. Lucia Valley for the next 24 hours. Winds will be blowing from the east near 18 miles or 30 kilometers per hour with a few gusts. Weather, generally cloudy skies with scattered showers, some of which may be heavy, gusty winds and isolated thunderstorms. Residents and motorists in areas prone to flooding and landslides are advised to remain vigilant. Seas moderate to locally rough with waves and swells 5 to 7 feet or 1.5 to 2.1 meters. Small craft operators and sea bathers are asked to exercise caution due to above normal seas. Forecast for the Lesser Antilles. Mostly cloudy skies with scattered moderate to heavy showers and thunderstorms. Tropical weather outlook. A tropical wave will generate cloudiness, showers and thunderstorms over the eastern Caribbean region during the forecast period. Finally, unbelievable but true. By special request, we invite you to once again have a look at a chimp with an AK-47.
Hey, lady, yo, bite the fucking gonna bite. Hey, because no. Come on, you win. Come on, ah! Oh boy, I'm out there. Hey, lady, yo, bite the fucking gonna bite. Hey, because no. Come on, you win. Come on, ah! Oh boy, I'm out there.
An AK-47 is easily one of the most efficient and deadly assault rifles available today. And yet these fellas would put it in the hands of a chimpanzee. You know, they have to run for their lives. Here is where we come to the end of this edition of TCT's Daily Major. But before we go, another look at the headlines. Congratulations are in order for Tedison John. Coconuts discovered with cocaine at the Hironora International Airport. The Prime Minister denounces the spate of burglaries at schools. And over 100 dead in Haiti from Hurricane Matthew, and the number is expected to rise. TCT's Daily Major was brought to you by Double A's Bottling Company, Ferrans Food Products, Ramco Charming, and One Caribbean Newspaper. As usual, on behalf of the entire news team, I am Brian Dabrio. Thanks for viewing.